Hey guys, everything new under the sun. Today's project is we're going to make a tractor for a Christmas present. So this is going to be a DIY, how to make your own wood tractor out of scrap wood, basically. So I'm going to take my DHP 481Z, my awesome Makita drill that I just fixed the chuck on. And I'm going to just search around for wood, spare wood that I have sitting around. And I'm going to try and make a wood tractor out of just scrap lumber that I have. I did buy a dowel for an axle, or for two axles for the wheels, but other than that, I'm just going to look for some 2x4s, some 1x5s, whatever else I have here. So let's have a look, let's tour around, let's see what I have for some wood, and we'll see if we can make a tractor. So this is the overdub section of the video. So just describing what I did here, I literally just walked through my shop in my basement and looked for scrap wood that I had around and found something that was suitable. I didn't end up going for the 2x4s, obviously. I found some, I think 1x3s and 1x4s that I could cut up and use, so I made use of that. Anytime you can make use of any scrap wood you have sitting around is better than, well, going out to the garbage or just rotting in your yard. Of course, I could have burned it. So there's the scrap wood pile that I started with anyway, so I had to imagine and dream a tractor out of that. So the first thing, I want to use my hole saws, so I put my hole saw on my my Makita DHP 481Z super duper drill, and made good use of the hole saws that I had. So I made about 6 wheels. I didn't have as big a hole saw as I would like to make the tractor tires, but I did end up using 4 of these wires, 4 of these wheels for the trailer, and they're suitable enough. We'll see how it goes, and if my son actually really enjoys this, then maybe I can make a better version of it or something. But it seems to work. The key piece to this is dowel, and of course I did mention I bought dowel, so I'm using the dowel, of course, for the axles, 4 different axles on the tractor and the trailer. Here I'm just literally drawing freehand the shape of the tractor that I want to cut out, and it's as easy as that. I just was kind of thinking as I went, hence the pauses there. And then I put on the tractor tires and the sort of relative size that I have in my brain. I didn't end up going with the size of tires that I had drawn there, but at least it gave me an idea for the scale of it versus the tires that I would need to make it somewhat look like a tractor. So I got my handy dandy Black & Decker skill saw out and cut it out real roughly, and there I have a shape of a tractor. And then I sort of bulked up the sides to kind of make it a little bit more 3D because it was too flat as is. I do make a mistake here where I didn't pre-drill, so I started pre-drilling here. Because you got to pre-drill this tiny wood, otherwise the screws just crack it. Even with pre-drill, actually, the screws crack it. So I used a couple of screws there. I didn't use glue in that case. For the big tractor tires, I took my my articulating saw and cut some firewood. I had some hardwood maple, I think, firewood there, and it was round enough. It's a little wobbly, but I took the bark off. You can see there I've got a chisel taking the bark off, and yeah, I just cut slices on my articulating saw, and miter saw, I guess, and that seems to have worked. And then I drilled holes in the center as close as I could get to center. For my dowels, this is a 3/8 inch, what do you call it, spade drill bit. Drilled all that out once I had all the bark off the outside of it, and then I went to measuring and cutting with the sawzall the dowel, and then drilling the sides of the tractor to push it through. So there you can see there the wheels push through. Worked out pretty well. I dry fitted it. Of course, it's always important to dry fit it, and then you can put glue on later, and it worked real well. So here I get on to actually making the trailer. So I'm just using a couple of 1x3s that I had sitting around, and I think a 1x4 on the bottom. It's very, very rough and crude, but I mean, you can do whatever you think there. And so I just made this and also drilled holes, of course, with the 3/8 inch drill bit for the axles. So of course I did the dry fitting again, and after I had drilled out the holes, and put the tires on, and it looked good. I did have to drill out the holes in the trailer itself a bit more so that the 3x8 dowel can actually rotate freely, so you kind of have to over drill with a 3/8 drill bit. And then after I dry fitted it, of course, I put my glue on, and there's what the tractor and trailer kind of look like. Somewhat to scale. The wheels on the trailer are a little bit tiny, but hey, it's homemade. So overall, I was happy with that. Then I drilled a hole for a smokestack there, and glued that in. You'll notice the wheels did crack as they dried out because it was pretty wet wood. They didn't seem to crack all the way though, and they still rotate fine. I put a little glue down there. But here you can see I get to actually painting it. Try to make the wheels darkish black. I didn't actually have black paint with me. I'm actually just using the kids' play paint, which is very thick, so it actually doesn't spread. It doesn't actually go very far on the model itself. So for the black, I actually mixed brown and purple and dark blue, and I got something close to dark wheels. I splattered everything in the green paint mostly. I used pretty much all the green paint because I wanted to make it look like a John Deere tractor, or at least John Deere color. So I think the color matches pretty well with John Deere. And of course the yellow on the inside is supposed to be the wheel hubs. Again, with this stuff, it's not supposed to be super realistic or anything. I think it'll work, and toys with kids get wrecked pretty quick anyway, so I don't get too concerned. And like I say, hey, if my son really likes this, then I can do something fancier later. But I put a couple of headlights on there with yellow paint as well on the front of it. Now for the back of it, I cut some clothes hanger or coat hanger in a couple of pieces, and I basically made a loop and pre-drilled and stuck a loop of clothes hanger wire in the back of the tractor, and then made a bit of a hook on the trailer. So you can see in the upcoming images how the hook and the loop sort of go together, and I glued those in there as well. So hopefully that'll stay. Hopefully that'll last in there. I got a bit of glue dripping, but yeah, that's it. That was the project. Hope you found that interesting. I'm sure you can do far better than I did, but that's what I did, and I'll just all scrap stuff and all stuff we had around the house except for the dowel. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Okay.